Michigan Republicans took infighting to a whole new level. Turns out the Mitten State GOP has descended into absolute madness following its complete annihilation in recent elections. Michigan Democrats have pretty much a trifecta, and they're doing lots of good stuff. So, gotta give them credit for that. Republicans, however, who used to have a lot of control in Michigan, have essentially turned in on themselves. Over the weekend, at least 2 Republican lawmakers got into yet another fight, a brawl, that resulted in police being called and one of the men having to give an interview from a hospital emergency room. According to a report in Mediaite, police were called to the Doherty Hotel in downtown Clare, Michigan. People were involved were Wayne County Republican James Chapman and Clare County Republican Chair Mark DeYoung. Now, apparently this began with some weird hallway Pledge of Allegiance, some, again, I'm reading from the article, doorknob wriggling, and ended up devolving into, flipping people off, again, fellow Republicans, and flipping tables. So flipping birds, flipping tables, and it gets even worse. According to DeYoung, there was some physical assault. Quote, "He kicked me in my balls as soon as I opened the door."
Testicles.
Ow. I mean...
Oh, no!
Ow. Imagine getting that as a surprise. You open the door, and you get a swift kick to the goodie bag. Ouch. And the quotes, they get better or worse, depending on how you see it. That scuffle intensified with Chapman then running at DeYoung, slamming him into a chair, according to DeYoung, who again provided his account in a phone interview from an emergency room in Clare. DeYoung said he ended up suffering a broken rib from the assault. Chapman alleged that DeYoung had said, quote, "I'll kick your ass," swung at him, and that led to the ball kicking or tackling. But wait, isn't the ball kicking, though, was as soon as he opened the door? Did somebody slam a door in somebody's face? I don't know. The details are hazy, which I'm sure after you get kicked in the balls, you're not going to quite remember things very well. Wow.
Testicles.
Okay. More fun quotes. Chapman said at one point he took off his glasses and says, when you see me taking my glasses off, I'm ready to rock. Well, oh no, oh, he's taking the glasses off. Oh, he's ready to rock now. Oh, I can't see. Chapman said then he took DeYoung by the legs and knocked him over. Again, there was a fractured rib, a broken rib, sorry, and there it is. DeYoung also told the Detroit News that he will be pressing charges. Wow. Look, here's the thing. I know I said let them fight, but I didn't think that they would take it literally. Okay? But this is how this is going for Republicans in Michigan. They're a complete and utter mess. And so the reason too is you've got 2 factions and both of them are crazy. Like, one is not better than the other. Okay? Now look, I've showed you these factions at it because they've been at each other's throats for some time lately. All right. Back in April, for example, you had a near fight between supporters of Christina Caramo and Matt DePerno. Both of them happen to be very ideologically extreme, pro-Trump, and far to the right of Michigan's electorate. In fact, these latest incidents really show you how insane the Republican Party has gotten in Michigan. And, it's sort of a microcosm, I think, for the Republican Party nationally. In fact, Field Reichert, a longtime Republican activist, who, again, very old school. He had worked on the presidential campaigns of George Romney, Nelson Rockefeller, Gerald Ford, and George H.W. Bush. So this guy, again, old school. So he's quoted in the Brookings Register as saying about the Michigan Republican Party, quote, "Now Republicans here are prioritizing an extremely conservative social agenda based on Christian nationalist views. These are not the moderate Republicans I grew up with. That type is gone. The party has become extreme and nutty."
Oh my God! He admitted!
I mean, it's true. Ain't nothing there, ain't no lies. Another longtime Republican, Charles Greenleaf, said, quote, "Politics in Michigan are almost unrecognizable from the time that I was involved in them." Matt Grossman pointed out that the most Trumpian parts of the party have emerged as powerful elements. That meant the party has been running uncompetitive candidates. So now, getting back to these uncompetitive candidates, the current GOP chair in Michigan is Christina Caramo, who massively lost her election. 14 points. Blown out. Okay? She had called public schools indoctrination camps. She had called January 6th a false flag. She had, of course, went all in on Donald Trump's election denial. Okay? And finally, I don't know if you all remember this one. I did this story before this election, or before that election, okay? Where she had called, or I should say, where she said that you can spread demonic possession through sexual contact. So understand what I'm saying here, okay?
Get in a long tube with a bunch of demons.
But instead of getting in the long tube full of demons, he thinks that, well, other tubes are filled with demons. Demonic possession, as an STD. That's the kind of insanity that the Republican chair of the Michigan GOP voted in, believes in. That's one side. The other side is DePerno, who also pro-Trump, pro-election denial, pro-banning abortion and Plan B. Again, that's also Caramo's position. And he had called critical race theory part of, quote-unquote, a Marxist agenda. So, like, ideologically, policy, or just the whack stuff that they believe in, almost indistinguishable. Caramo may have him beat, thinking that, demonic possession can be passed through sexual contact. Or
sexual anarchy.
Sexual anarchy leads to demons. Don't you know? Yes, Christina. Let's get you to bed now, okay? Let's get you your medication. Here you go. But DePerno also, again, an insane person. And so what's going on here? Oh, by the way, he also allegedly assaulted a client back when he had practiced law and may have attempted to tamper with voting machines. Oops. So again, insane in their own way, and and yet the followers of them are literally duking it out for supremacy. This is how far things have spiraled down in the Michigan Republican Party. Wow. Now, what's funny is leftist infighting, right? I mention that a lot. And that's usually on Twitter. I have never once seen leftists kick each other in the balls. Maybe it's happened. But, a lot of leftist commentators like to talk about how we've got so much infighting on the left. And I'm not saying we don't. We do. Oh, we do. But it's not gotten to this level. No way, no how, not even close. So I guess that's one thing we got going for us. And as far as the Michigan Republicans, well, I mean, it's, their infighting is our gain.